right, let's get going. Good morning, good morning. What's going on, early birds? How's everybody doing? Let's get this show on the road. All right. Let's get these posts out here. Perfect. All right, all right, all right. Kadar, good morning. Nancy, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, we should get some job report number that's out now. Let's see. How's everybody doing today? Let's see, waiting for the jobless numbers to come out. That came down a little bit under than expected. So we'll see how that acts. Mr. Evans, good morning, man. What's going on? The Godson, good morning, good morning. Edgar, good morning. All right, all right, all right. Nook, good morning. What's going on? Nick Cassidy, what's up, my man? How you doing? All right, let's get people tuning in here. We'll wait till 8:35 and then we'll get things kind of popping here. All right. Kadar, great. You look fresh. It's been up for some time now. Gabby, good morning. Legit Movers Chicago, good morning, good morning. Biz, good morning. LM, good morning. Brent, good morning. Steven, good morning. Yes, all is good on my end. Nando from the Bando. Nice name. Good morning, good morning. Cruz, good morning. First time here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We usually wait till 8:35. Just to give people time to kind of tune in here. And 8:35, we'll hit it off with some market sentiment, some market levels to keep an eye on. And then after that, we'll get into some of the free alerts that you guys can take a look at. And then we'll go over some of the questions you guys may have about some tickers. Let me know if you guys are looking to go long, short, day trade, swing trade, calls, puts. That way I can answer your questions a lot better. Dan, good morning. JRZ, good morning. All right. Gonna wait about 3 more minutes here. Once we get everybody kind of tuned in, we'll dive right in, and it's gonna be nice and quick, and we'll get right to it. Don't want to keep you guys too long. I know everyone's looking to trade today. Those 0-day expiry options. Vic, good morning. All right. This Elon Musk is really trying to buy Twitter. Very interesting offer here. Trying to buy out Twitter for $54 a share. He's going to have to sell some of his Tesla shares to do that. All right. For those of you that are here nice and early, go ahead and smash that like button. There's about 44 of you and only 15 likes. What's going on? Let's get those likes up. Let's see. Jason, good morning. Foolish Snowboarder, good morning, my man. How you doing? Nancy, everyone, don't forget to smash the like button for Ali. Nancy, you the best. You are the best. All right, we got about 30 seconds and we're gonna dive right in here, guys. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, probably. That's definitely, yeah, I haven't even looked at Tesla's chart today. Biz Udaman. All right, guys, we got 8:35 here. Let's get going. So we'll start with the SPY, and just right off the bat, a few things to kind of know. All right, we did put in a bullish engulfing on yesterday's price action. Okay, so what does that mean? That means the body of the previous candle is being essentially eaten or swallowed by yesterday's candle. All right, so essentially this is a bullish sign. We could track back, but you know, another look here, maybe I'm just being a little optimistic, but we do have this bigger head and shoulder kind of put in. So essentially we could kind of track back up, maybe retest this 200 moving average and see if we have enough strength to kind of push through it. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking at here until we really break these lows right there at around, you know, 436. Then we might possibly roll back over and get some further weakness. But at the moment, with this bullish engulfing being put in, really just looking to see if we can see some continuation to the upside. Then we can take advantage of that. But that is the daily. Let's dive into the shorter time frame here. We're looking at the 15-minute chart here. Going to put in my levels. And the level that I'm keeping an eye on here, obviously, is that 442.76. This level right here, okay? It was a level we resisted against yesterday, right here. It is a level that we held after hours. We held a little bit in the pre-market, and now we're kind of fighting it in this area right here, okay? So keeping an eye on this level. If we're able to hold this 442, we could look to track back to yesterday's resistance point right here at 443. And then ultimately, these two resistance points, which lines up with that other day. This is on April 12th, right? So Wednesday and Tuesday. So it lines up with those Tuesday's levels, okay? Now, if we're able to clear all that, if we're able to clear those two resistance points, we should see a push to the 447, 448.50. And at that point, we line up with the 200 moving average on the daily, okay? So let me put this back to the daily chart and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Our 200 moving average is sitting at around 448.30, 448.50. That's where we can see that resistance finally come in all the way up here at 448.15 if we get a strong day and hold above this 442 and tackle these levels, okay? So obviously that 442.76 is going to be vital today. We push back up. Our second point that we need to really get through is going to be the 445. Then we can look to push to the 448. All right. Now, if we lose this 442.76 level, what are we looking at on the downside? Obviously, the first area is going to be right here. Why? Because we have these resistance points and we have a support point right here. All right. So these are areas to consider. If we lose the 442.76, we do get that 441.18 pull. And then 440, again, why the 440? It was respected yesterday in the early sessions, and then under that 438, and then the low of day yesterday, which lines up right here with this 437. Okay, so these are levels to the downside you should pay attention to. If you guys want, you could take a screenshot of this just so you have some levels you can monitor off of today. But that's what I'm kind of looking at in regards to the SPY. Now I'm going to pop back out here. We're going to go to the Qs. And I kind of want to pay attention to the Qs here. All right, so the Qs, you know, we did have a strong push in the Qs. However, we didn't put that bullish engulfing candle essentially. All right, but we do have some levels to monitor here. Very similar look again, pretty much following the SPY. Some more weakness early on today and in the Qs in the pre-market session. But let's dive in and look at the pre-market levels and the 15-minute time frame and see what we're really looking at here today. Okay. We're looking at this 346.35. Okay, that's the level we need to kind of focus on today. This is the same level, similar to that 442.76 level. We need to kind of pay attention to this, and we need to get above this if we're looking to continue higher. So This is showing a little bit of a weakness comparison to the SPY in the pre-market right now. So something to kind of keep into consideration when looking at trading tech names. But if we can get back above this level, we should look to retest at least 348, which we have resistance here. We're going to have this resistance here from Tuesday as well. That's the first level, and above that we get to the 350.78, 351, 352 areas. Okay, if we zoom out a little bit, you'll see that this area we saw a lot of congestion essentially, right? That's the area that we might see some resistance and some struggle at, but we have to keep an eye and see what's going to happen over there. This is going to be kind of a big area on it, and if we go to the daily here, let me clean this up. You're going to see that resistance at this 351, which is just going to be a 20-day moving average. And then first level to kind of clear would be that 50-day moving average as well. All right, so let's jump back into the 15-minute time frame. There you go. So that 351 level lines up with exactly that that 20-day moving average that's going to be right on top of us. Okay, so we're going to have to keep an eye on this level and see what happens when we do pop back up here. Okay. Now, if we can't get above this 346 and we see weakness in the overall market, we're going to come back down to this 344, 343, 342, and ultimately you could come to retest these lows if we get aggressive selling taking place, 341, 339. All right, you can see that at this level right here, this is where they're constantly stepping up. So we could get that pull at least to the 342, and then ultimately last support would be that 339 to see if they kind of continue stepping up like they did here, like they did here, here, right? So we got to kind of pay attention to that level if we do yank. All right, so those are the kind of things I'm looking at in the Qs. Overall, we need to get above certain levels to stay bullish or bearish. And yeah, now let's dive into the free alerts that I posted out there. So first one is going to be AMD. Alright, so AMD here, let me pull it up, let me see what I got. So AMD over 99, alright, so if we can get over this 99 level, 99.35 level, I'm looking to buy calls on this. So this, what would this do? This would get us back above the Qs. Hopefully the Qs can get back above that, and if it does and we break above this 99 level, we should see buyers step up, right? Because we saw sold off here, we saw some resistance here, and if we get back over this 99.35 level, we should continue to the upside, as there's really not much support until this area of like 101, possibly that 102 area where it's going to see some resistance. Okay, now on the downside, if we see sell-off take place, if the market shows weakness and the Qs kind of roll over, the 97.50 is kind of what I'd be paying attention to. Okay, the 97.50, yes, 97.50. So that 97.50 lines up right here. That's that break of this little almost double bottom that we put in yesterday. We held it in the after hours. We held it a little bit here. We really need to get under that 97.50, and then we can see a sell off to 96.40, and then possibly back down to that 95. Okay, so both ways to kind of trade this: 97.50 to the downside, 99.30 to the upside. Next one on the list is Snow. Take a look at the Snow here. I think Snow had an inside day. Yes, Snow had an inside day. And the way to kind of trade these here, if we can get above this 216 level, right, that's going to be the inside day trigger to the upside. You have some resistance here. You have resistance here. You have resistance here. These topping wicks are telling you there's people selling at these levels. So if we can get back above the 216, 216.15, 216 level, we should see a continuation at least right to this area right here. Sorry, to this area right here, and then ultimately that 222. Okay, that's over the 216. Now, if we lose the 213 level, let's put that on the chart as well. 213, this right here, we should see a rollover. Not much juice on the downside, but we could get that 211 and then ultimately the 209. But really have to pay attention to these levels, and if early morning we get that sell-off, this could roll over pretty quickly. So we'll keep an eye here on what the market's going to do. But Snow over the 216 and under the 213 is kind of what I'm paying attention to. Next one is Daku. Daku, I believe, had an inside day again, and that's great. We can see this. There's great resistance right here at this 105 level. So the reason why I'm keeping an eye on this, look at all these resistant points right here. over this 105, we should see that continuation to the upside. All right, so that's what I'm looking at here, over the 105 on Doku. And if it gets under the 103.50, which essentially gets a little bit lower, loses the momentum it had yesterday here, right around this 103.70, 103.50, it could see a roll back down because it had a straight push up here. So we'll keep an eye on here. I'd rather see this on a stronger push with a strong market to get through that 105 level. But if it does roll over 103.50, I'm not going to hold on to the puts for long. But, if it does come, we'll take profits on the way down. I'd rather this breakout. But we'll see how the market really acts. And we need kind of market's help to push this up again. Okay. So 105 to the top side, 103.50 to the downside on this one. Okay. Now I'm going to dive into the chat here. If you guys do have any messages or any questions in regards to tickers that you guys are taking a look at, let me know. Let me know if you want to day trade it, if you want to swing trade it, and if you're looking for calls or puts, and I'll kind of go over that and give you guys some insight on what you guys are looking at here. Let me go through the chat, see if I missed anything. Mary, good morning. Blessed day, everyone. Good morning, Sky. You were reading Elon's letter to Twitter. Nice. G5, good morning. And Frost, good morning. Twino, good morning. All right. So let me know if you guys have any questions in regards to tickers. I'll jump right into those. In the meantime, let's take a look at what's going on with Twitter. So this is when the news came out, obviously popped up. And he said he was going to buy it for $54 a share, so I guess that's where the algos kind of pushed this thing up in the pre-market here. All right, let's see. So we got a question about WBD. Let's take a look at the daily here. WBD swing trade. Dan, you didn't really tell me. I guess I'm talking about the upside here. Lots of volume coming in here last few days. Not seeing any pattern here really. Maybe you have a little bit of a falling wedge kind of taking place on the broad aspect of things. You really need to get this back above at least this 27.60 to buy calls. You have these topping wicks right here at this 27.50, 27.60 area. If you can get above that, you should see that track back to 29.60 and possibly 30. But still, you're in that channel. It could roll back over before bouncing back up. So wait for that trigger point of 27.50 if you want to kind of swing this to the upside. ABBV. Again, let me know what you guys are looking to do. ABBV, please. I'm not really sure what that means. Are you looking to swing trade it, buy puts, day trade it? ABBV, this is a name that haunts me to this day. We had a swing trade on this thing, and I believe our entries was like 114. We sold for pretty much second target there, and this thing really just kept going and going and going and never really looked back. So you guys that are asking about swing trades at this point, there's absolutely nothing here. You are getting massive increased selling volume. Anyone that bought here is now starting to dump. You're getting big red candles. Price action is no longer nice and tight. Big massive dumps happening here. Increasing volume. The only thing you'll be doing at this point is trying to catch a bottom on this, and we don't have that yet. We could very well come to the 50 moving average, possibly consolidate, and maybe pop back up a little bit to the 162, but this needs more time to pan out. At the moment, there's really nothing there. All the investors are now getting out of the position, and if you're trying to get into a position here, it's definitely not a good look. UPS swing. Again, it doesn't really tell me if you're looking to buy calls or puts, but I'm hoping you're expecting calls here. You got to understand on April 26th, there is earnings, so any swing that you take, you're going to risk going into earnings. There isn't enough time here for you to swing and not get kind of killed with what happens at earnings. As far as a quicker swing trade goes, there's really not much support here. You can see that we had this prior gap that got filled. Price action kind of shot back up. There is support at 182, 181 level. Maybe if we come down to that level and form some sort of a reversal candle, reversal pattern, then you can get involved on a swing trade back to the 195, 200s. But at the moment, there's really nothing here. Volume is dying down on the sell-off. So again, you need to wait for some sort of a candle, possibly closer to down here would be ideal. And after ER is when you can probably look to get those swings. Snap swing trade. Let's take a look at Snap. You have an inside day here on Snap. Not really seeing much in regards to a pattern. Again, earnings is on April 21st, so you guys have to be really careful taking swings with earnings right around the corner, because you got to ask yourself, are you willing to hold through the earnings? And if you are, that's a 50-50 gamble. You're gonna have to use very small size. This right here, there's really no pattern. It looks kind of choppy, moving up, coming down. There's really nothing that kind of institutes an actual pattern to be played here. It is coming out a little bit of a downtrend. Take a look at, if you put a downtrend here, it is coming out of a little bit of a downtrend, retesting that downtrend here. That's the only thing that I would really kind of pay attention to. You could try calls here with stops just right under the 32 to hope to test that 37.19 or even the 39. But again, not something that I would get involved in, especially with ER so close. Make sure you guys are paying attention to where ER is. Let me have that ABBV we talked about very briefly just now. Athena and Evans, Fun and Crazy World. Could you analyze SOXL? SOXL. So SOXL, let's take a look here. Chart is kind of wacky. I've seen this name make impressive moves and then kind of just fall here. Not really seeing much. It's an ETF name. I don't really like swinging ETFs. There is some support right here at this 28 level. So it is trying to fight that support right now. Some selling came in at this level. If we can consolidate here and put in a reversal pattern, that's the only time I would get involved. If you want to kind of get involved here just blindly, you would have to use the low of the pivot from this prior day here at 412. Right there would be your stop. It's too early right now, need more time. We do have an inside day. If it does get above this 28.82, you could try to take advantage of a push back up to the 32, but you have to kind of wait. It needs to get above 28.80, 28.90, then you can look for a quick pop, maybe a 3-4 day push back up to that 32.60 level. This is an ETF, so be careful with that. How do you take the latest unusual whales comments regarding the last 100 trades? I don't even know what the comments were. How do you take the latest unusual whale comments regarding the last 100 trades? I have no idea what that means. CMC. Let's take a look at CMC. CMC looks all right here. It's been, respecting the 20 moving average very nicely. There's a name that I had on watch there. Nice little breakout here. You have resistance breaking out here as well. All right, so it is over that 43.60 level. Let's take a look at some old resistance on it. Let's zoom out. So you got to keep going out, guys, till you see some sort of resistance point. And right here, stock is trading at around 43. So the most recent high back then was 39. So we're well above that, and there's really nothing else. Okay, so here the stock has room to move. All right, so if we use fibs here, we use this high day to the most recent low. It's got room to push to the 45.69, and then obviously ultimately that 49 level. But those are the levels you're gonna pay attention to. Nice strong candle today. Not so much volume. I would have liked to see this volume come in with above average, but you do have other volume profiles that do look nice on it. So this could see a move to 45.66 in the short term. BYXRY. That sounds like a penny name. I've never even heard of that. BAYRY. Sorry. Never even heard of this thing. I mean, it's gone from 14 all the way to 18 here. To go long, maybe you might have a little bit more room towards this 19 level, but your risk is too high. Look how far we are from the moving averages. If you buy here and go long and it pulls down to the 17.29, this is not a good risk to reward setup. Your next big support is sitting at around 17.14. Wait for that dip to this area, wait for a pattern to form, possibly a falling wedge, then you can take advantage of buying some calls, get cheaper premiums, and then look for this to kind of curl around. But to buy calls up here, you're in no man's land, you have room to fall, and then as it falls, you might stop out, and then the move will happen after that. So wait for this, not really ready here. It's too extended. It's gone from 13 to 18, way too extended to get into calls here. CLF swing calls above 32. CLF swing calls above 32. Yeah, I mean, the CLF chart went from dying to looking pretty good here, so it does have room for more upside. It could very well get to this 33 and then 35 to 30 here again, bouncing off the 20 moving average, but in a pretty decent candle. Only issue with this again is the ER that's coming up on 4/22. So we're gonna have to be careful with that and get out of the position before earnings actually happens. How about Tesla puts? Tesla puts, let's see what it's at in the pre-market here. So that news with Twitter, I guess, really brought this thing down. Tesla puts, and you have some support right here at this 997 area. Under that, you could see 986 and then possibly lows of 975, but wait for the 997 to break. Very hard to buy puts against Tesla because there's so many buyers just constantly stepping up on it. You just wait for the 997. If that breaks, you can try the puts on Tesla here for a day trade, not a swing trade. What's the IV I usually look at on day trades? It's anything under like 120 I'll still trade. I know some people say that's a little high, but if the IV percentage is lower than 150, 140, I'll still take advantage of it. If it gets in the 200 ranges, that's a little too much for me, and I don't want to get involved with that. Nuke, did I miss the Twitter options chart? No, we didn't really talk about Twitter with that news. I don't really want to get involved with it. CRWD holding 239. Can we do a day trade over 242? 242, yeah, 242 looks good. Daily chart does have room to move here. You can see it's in a nice big pocket here on the daily. There's not much resistance, at least until the 264, which dates back to this 11.1 resistance area. So it's a nice little pocket. If we do see some continued strength in the market, this could push to the 264. Not a bad look there. Amazon put swing, any comments? Unless you really expect the market to sell off, then that's the only time I would buy puts on it. You have a bit bullish engulfing, swallowing 2 days candles. I'd be really careful buying puts up here. AZN inside day call 69, put 68.40. AZN, nice gap on the upside there. Let's take a look at the 15-day 5-minute. 69. This is a good one actually. 69.30 puts you in a gap fill mode. You could push to the 70.64, and 68.40. 68.40 on the other hand is not the greatest. I would try to eliminate this day's low as well. So 68.30, then you can look for 68 and then lower. But obviously the better move here is that gap fill play. So over that 69.30 level like you had mentioned. Short MU. Hope you have an awesome long weekend. Thank you, Vic. You as well. MU. Let's take a look. Short MU. It does look a little weak here on MU. I mean, didn't really do as good as the entire market did yesterday. Possibly if it gets under this 71.85, 71.60 level, it could look to roll down to the 70 level, but a 60 point, 70 point drop. And then after that, it could get lower. Only for a day trade here, not a swing trade. Marshall, thank you. How do you pick strike price? I have an options video on how I do that. Usually I like to keep it between delta of 45 to 55. And I have a rule based on what day of the week it is, which expiry I choose. AMD Lottos, I have free alerts on those over 99, over 99.35. I'll look to buy calls, and under the 97.50, I'll look to buy puts on it. It's on my Twitter, Manny. Take a look at it. All right, guys, if you guys are still here, go ahead and smash that like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Just remember, every Thursday I do go live. You guys can come in here, tune in, listen to what's going on, ask me questions, and hopefully kind of prep you guys for a better market open. And yeah, man, appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I got to get back to the room here and prep for the market open. If you guys do have questions and I did miss it on YouTube, go ahead and message me on Discord or Twitter. I'll get to all of your messages. I try to answer my DMs as much as I can to kind of help you guys out. And with that said, thank you guys all for tuning in. We'll catch you all next week right here at 8:30 a.m. Have a wonderful long weekend and stay safe and be good. Thank you guys. Have a good one.